middle-class bourgeois family values. It was a bourgeois monarchy.
However, the truth of the matter is that they did have an adulterous relationship. Just minutes ago, King Charles confessed to a startling truth about his past with Princess Diana. Initially, Charles visited to court her older sister, but instead, Diana, only 16 at the time, captivated him with her vibrant charm, sparking a whirlwind and intricate love story. This revelation opens the door to deeper secrets yet to be told. Tune in as we dive into these pressing revelations exposing Charles and Diana's early encounters. The untimely demise of Princess Diana in 1997 has been shrouded in mystery and controversy, sparking debates and leaving many questions unanswered. The event, marked by its suddenness and the global mourning that followed, remains a topic of intrigue and speculation. Recently, however, a significant development arose when King Charles made a surprising statement regarding his past relationship with Diana. This revelation came as a shock to many as the king discussed aspects of their connection that had previously remained private. As the world absorbed his startling revelations, a leaked document surfaced, promising answers about that fateful night in Paris, potentially unveiling the truth behind the princess's tragic end. Charles and Diana first met in 1981. In an interview with The Telegraph, he looked back on the first time they crossed paths. It happened at the Spencer family's home in Althorpe, in a field freshly plowed. She was just 16 at the time, full of energy and charm, and she left a strong impression on him. This meeting was important for two reasons. First, the 12-year age gap between them, she was 16 while he was 29, may have caused some challenges in their future, but it didn't stop them from being drawn to each other right away. The second thing that made their first meeting interesting was the situation itself. At the time, he was dating Sarah Spencer, her older sister. He had been invited to Althorpe for a shooting event hosted by Sarah, but it was Diana who quickly caught his eye, adding a bit of unexpected fate to their meeting. During the event, despite the tricky situation with Sarah, he found himself deeply attracted to Diana. He even asked to see the art collection in her home, which kicked off their famous and complicated relationship. This moment became a special memory for Diana, marking the beginning of her connection with Charles. However, their journey together was far from smooth. After first meeting at Althorpe, Charles didn't immediately show interest in Diana. Instead, he kept dating her older sister, Sarah Spencer. During a skiing trip to the famous Swiss resort Klosters, photographers snapped pictures of Sarah and Charles skiing together. It seemed like any chance of a romance between Charles and Diana was over. However, things changed when Sarah Spencer revealed in a biography by Sarah Bradford that she had no romantic feelings for Charles and never thought about marrying him. This ended their relationship, making way for Charles and Diana's story to unfold. Their paths crossed again at his 30th birthday party. Still, it wasn't until a later gathering hosted by their mutual friend, Philip de Pass, that they truly connected. Around this time, Charles was grieving the tragic loss of his great-uncle, Lord Mountbatten, who had been assassinated by the IRA. This heartbreaking event left him deeply saddened, and at the funeral, she showed her care by offering him comfort. Her warmth and kindness during such a difficult time brought them closer together, creating a strong emotional bond that began to shape their relationship. But was this sorrow-filled beginning enough to support a lasting love? She may have been overly hopeful about what love could be, possibly overlooking the need for boundaries in a relationship. Still, despite these challenges, their connection grew stronger. Known for his charm, he introduced her to his favorite hobbies like fishing and invited her to spend time at Balmoral, his beautiful estate in Scotland. These moments not only deepened their relationship but also caught the public's attention. Just 6 months after their romance began, they were officially engaged. During a heartfelt interview at Buckingham Palace, she described him as pretty amazing, while he expressed his joy over her acceptance of his proposal. The proposal itself was a simple, private moment during a quiet dinner at the palace. This marked a major shift in their relationship, turning what had been a private romance into a public spectacle. Her youth, grace, and charm drew the attention of many, while the fact that he had chosen a bride from English nobility only added to the fascination. Just when things seemed settled, a sudden decision stirred new paths and surprises. The engagement that shook the monarchy brought more surprises. To give her time to think about the proposal, he planned a trip to Australia. Much to his surprise, she accepted immediately without hesitation. She quickly made arrangements to leave her Kensington apartment, where she had been living with friends, and moved into Clarence's house to start preparing for her new role as his fiancée. In the lead-up to their wedding, all eyes were on her, and the world began to notice her unique fashion style, which would soon become iconic. The engagement ring was a big deal because it symbolized her first step into the public eye as his fiancée. The ring was stunning, featuring a circle of diamonds set in 18-karat white gold with a beautiful 12-karat blue sapphire from Sri Lanka in the center. Unlike most royal engagement rings, this one was inspired by a brooch Prince Albert made for Queen Victoria back in 1840. During an interview with the press, he and she were asked about love. She confidently said she was in love, but he, looking away, answered with whatever love means, which seemed strange and hinted at some early issues in their relationship. Even though she was clearly uncomfortable, they pushed forward, not yet realizing the bigger challenges ahead. In 1992, Andrew Morton's book Diana, Her True Story in her own words revealed how much she struggled emotionally as the wedding day got closer. Morton explained how she had serious doubts about marrying him. Things got even worse when she discovered a bracelet meant for his ex, Camilla Parker Bowles, right before the wedding. This discovery deeply upset her, and she even considered canceling the wedding. At that point, her sister stepped in and told her it was too late to back out as everything was already in motion. The emotional whirlwind continued as the wedding day approached. The night before the big day, she celebrated with her sisters at a bridal shower at Clarence's house. He gave her a thoughtful gift, a signet ring from Buckingham Palace with his emblem, along with a heartfelt note expressing how excited he was for their future together. Their wedding on July 29, 1981, at St. Paul's Cathedral in London, was a massive event. It was the first time in 300 years that a British citizen married an heir to the throne, making it a historic day. The wedding drew an enormous crowd, with 750 million viewers from 74 countries watching. It was one of the grandest weddings ever, costing around $48 million. Her wedding dress was a showstopper, an ivory silk gown covered in hand embroidery and over 10,000 pearls. She wore the Spencer tiara, a family heirloom, and looked radiant as she walked down the aisle, seemingly on top of the world. But things weren't as perfect as they seemed. Just before the wedding, she had received about 3,000 gifts, including a beautifully engraved crystal bowl from the Reagans and a dazzling Art Deco clock from Cartier. She even got a set of diamond and sapphire jewelry from Crown Prince Fahd of Saudi Arabia. Yet amidst all the royal splendor, there were small mishaps that reminded everyone they were human. Diana made the bold choice to leave out the word obey from her vows, which was a break from tradition. Then, she accidentally mixed up Charles's names during the ceremony, calling him Prince Philip Charles instead of Charles Philip Arthur George. It caused a brief moment of awkwardness, but the ceremony went on. This wasn't the worst part. He also made a mistake during his vows, adding to the list of small imperfections that made the grand event feel a little more real. As they settled into marriage, happiness and struggles emerged, revealing deeper issues. The balcony kiss and beyond symbolized their union. Instead of following the usual custom of dividing up their possessions, the most noticeable mistake happened when he forgot to kiss her after their wedding vows. Thankfully, this was quickly fixed when, to the delight of the 600,000 people gathered outside Buckingham Palace, the couple shared a spontaneous and heartfelt kiss on the balcony. In the first year of their marriage, they seemed very happy together. They enjoyed an extravagant 3-month honeymoon, which started with a 12-day cruise on the royal yacht Britannia. They sailed peacefully to beautiful places like Egypt and the Greek islands. After that, they retreated to the quiet and scenic Balmoral Castle in Scotland, where they enjoyed some privacy at a remote hunting estate. Lodge in August 1981, she wrote to her personal secretary Jane Parsons saying how perfect the honeymoon had been. When they returned, she quickly got used to her new role as a royal, appearing in public with him on many occasions. One of the big moments was her first appearance with him at the state opening of Parliament. This marked the beginning of a new chapter in her life. Soon after, the birth of Prince William and later Prince Harry brought even more joy. Though the pressures of royal life remained, she found out she was pregnant with William while dealing with personal doubts and anxieties. During the pregnancy, she even had a frightening fall down the stairs, but luckily both she and the baby were unharmed. The birth of Prince William on June 21, 1982, was a moment of great joy. It also marked a new phase for the couple, especially since he broke tradition by being present in the delivery room. The planning around William's birth was so detailed that it was scheduled around his busy calendar. When their second son Harry was born, it initially brought them closer together, although he did feel a slight disappointment for not having a daughter. But this wasn't the only problem. Soon after, he rekindled his old relationship with Camilla, someone he had loved in the past. Despite her efforts to fix their relationship, she constantly felt overshadowed by his feelings for Camilla. This caused her a great deal of pain, and in 1989 she confronted Camilla at a party, which she later described as one of the bravest things she had ever done. Things took a turn for the worst when, in 1989, a private conversation between him and Camilla was leaked, creating a scandal known as Camillagate. The media revealed intimate details of their conversation, shocking the public and putting Camilla, who was married to Andrew Parker Bowles, in a very difficult situation. The scandal seriously hurt her reputation. He addressed the issue in a TV interview, at first claiming he had remained faithful to her until it was no longer possible. But the story wasn't over. In 1995, she gave an interview to the BBC's Panorama where she openly discussed the challenges in their marriage, including the emotional burden of dealing with another person involved. She spoke about how their relationship broke down and eventually led to their divorce. Just like his earlier interview, this one grabbed the world's attention as she shared the deeply personal struggles she faced within the royal family. When he revealed the scandal, it caused a big uproar that led to Camilla and her husband Andrew Parker Bowles announcing their separation. The shocking news that they had been living apart for 2 years stirred up rumors of a divorce between them. People were already talking about their marriage problems, and this just made things worse. Around the same time, rumors about her own infidelity started to surface. Reports claimed that she had been secretly involved with Captain James Hewitt from 1986 for about 4 years. Many thought this was her way of reacting to his behavior. After their grand wedding, tensions rose, leading to unexpected turns in their relationship. On December 9, 1992, she and he publicly announced they were separating, which was a major moment for the British monarchy. Prime Minister John Major even spoke about it in the House of Commons, calling the split friendly and stating that both of them had agreed to raise their sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, together. Even the Queen supported their decision. But this wasn't the most surprising part. Not long after the announcement, people were shocked to see them together in public. This fueled rumors that maybe they were getting back together. It happened during a service for the 50th anniversary of the Battle of the Atlantic on the Royal Yacht Britannia on May 30, 1993, where they appeared to get along just fine. Their final public appearance together happened on Christmas Day in 1993 during the traditional Sandringham Christmas walk. After the separation, she threw herself into charity work, making hospital visits and improving her public speaking skills with the help of voice coach Peter Setterlin. Meanwhile, he kept busy with his royal duties both at home and abroad. But when it came time to talk about their divorce, things got complicated. They had to discuss financial arrangements and who would get custody of their sons. It all wrapped up on July 15, 1996, when their divorce was finalized, ending their 15-year marriage. After the divorce, she went through a lot of different emotions: relief, sadness, and uncertainty. While she started a new chapter in her life, on the outside she looked calm, but she opened up to her brother-in-law Sir Robert Fellows about the struggles she was facing. One of the most talked about aspects of the divorce was the financial settlement and the loss of her Royal Highness title. While she got to keep the Princess of Wales title, which kept her connected to the royal family, he insisted she lose the Her Royal Highness title, even though the Queen initially thought she might be able to keep it. After Diana's divorce and the end of her previous relationships, she faced her new life with determination and hope. She saw her separation from Prince Charles as a chance to grow and build her life on her own terms. She embraced this fresh start, focusing on finding her identity away from the royal family. One of the most notable relationships she had after the divorce was with Dr. Hasnat Khan, a respected heart and lung surgeon. They met in September of 1995, and their romance lasted 2 years. Both she and Khan tried to keep their relationship private, away from the media. She even affectionately called him Mr. Wonderful. But despite their efforts, the media eventually uncovered their relationship. Their love ended after 2 years, largely because Khan didn't want to live in the public eye, which led to their breakup. But that wasn't the most challenging part of Diana's personal life during this time. The media didn't stop. After her breakup with Khan, there were rumors about Diana being romantically involved with several other high-profile men, including a married art dealer named Oliver. However, Diana denied any romantic relationship with him, stating they were just friends. After her time with Dr. Khan, Diana's life became even more public when she began dating Dodi Fayed, a film producer and the son of wealthy businessman Mohammed Al-Fayed. This relationship, unlike her previous ones, was very public, with paparazzi constantly following them and documenting every moment they spent together. In the summer of 1997, things took an especially public turn when Dodi invited Diana to spend time with him and his family in the south of France. They hoped to escape the constant attention, but the paparazzi followed them everywhere. Despite the luxurious setting and increased security, they couldn't avoid the media frenzy. Seeking more privacy, Diana and Dodi decided to travel to Paris, where things took a tragic turn. On the night of August 31, 1997, Diana, Dodi, and their driver Henri Paul were involved in a terrible car crash in a tunnel in Paris. The crash claimed all their lives. Later investigations revealed that the driver, Paul, was speeding and intoxicated while being chased by paparazzi. A brief, hopeful meeting occurred right before a tragic event changed everything. Just a few days before the accident, Diana had shared a rare light-hearted moment with Prince Charles on her 35th birthday. Charles had unexpectedly visited her, and they shared tea and laughter, which was a sharp contrast to their previously strained relationship. This brief but warm encounter hinted at a possible reconciliation between the two, but as we know, fate had other plans. The world was devastated by Diana's sudden death, which not only ended any chance of reconciliation with Charles but also marked the tragic loss of one of the most beloved figures in recent history. The royal family, along with millions of people around the world, mourned her passing deeply. At a deeply solemn funeral, important people and mourners from around the world gathered, marking the end of one era and the start of another in the royal family's story. Among them was Prince Charles, reminding everyone of his complicated connection to his late wife, Princess Diana. Instead of wearing the usual black mourning clothes, he chose a navy suit. This decision caused some to question his choice, but it wasn't just about fashion, it was a way for Charles to honor Diana's unique style and what she stood for, showing his respect for her memory and their shared history. On the same day, a private burial for Diana took place. Her ex-husband, their 2 sons, her mother, siblings, a close friend, and a clergyman were the only ones there. Diana was dressed in a long-sleeved black gown by Catherine Walker, something she had chosen a few weeks before. In her hands, she held rosary beads, a gift from Mother Teresa. Diana's final resting place was on a small island within the large grounds of Althorpe Park, her family's estate. After Diana's death, the royal family faced a lot of criticism. Many felt they were being too cold and following royal rules too strictly, especially when it came to protecting Diana's sons from the public eye. Things got even worse when Buckingham Palace didn't lower the royal standard to half-mast. They explained this by saying that the royal standard represents the Queen's presence, and since she wasn't at the palace, it wouldn't be lowered. But on the day of the funeral, the Union flag was lowered to half-mast as the Queen travelled to Westminster Abbey, setting a new example for future cases when the Queen isn't in residence. But that wasn't the only issue. There were disagreements within the royal family about how the funeral should be handled. Prince Charles wanted a public service, while the Queen's private secretary, Sir Robert Fellows, who was also Diana's brother-in-law, preferred a more private ceremony. This difference of opinion showed the ongoing struggles within the royal family during that difficult time. What are your thoughts on the royal family's handling of Princess Diana's death? Was their approach justified?